Ashika Island looks pretty dull for most people, and so today we're going to show you how to make it look amazing and hopefully also give you a bump in FPS. Don't worry, most of these settings also work on console as well as PC, so you Xbox and PS5 gamers can also have a great experience. Make sure to follow along and share this with your squad, and I'll also have the secret sauce for you Nvidia control panel gamers at the very end. And lastly, double check to make sure you are subscribed with the bell turned on, because we're about to do another PC giveaway with Zydax. You guys really enjoyed the last video that we did giving away a gaming PC to Godku, and he loves it, so I'm sure you guys will love this one as well. Now, to get your game looking beautiful, you guys are going to want to go into your settings tab and then over into the interface area, and then you guys will be able to see color customization right here. And for your color filter, you want to make sure that this one's set to filter 2, and this one does also work on consoles. Color filter target set to both of these are set to 100. These ones are only for your mini map and for your basically anything in your HUD. You can change these around based on what your preference is. This is just what I have for mine. I like my enemies red, my team green, me being blue, but it doesn't really matter. Now, if you go back into the interface area, you can see all my other settings that I have here. We were just in this color customization tab. You can see the rest of the settings here. Default 20 short, like subtitles when I game. Everything here is like a default 0. These ones come as 100, I believe. Our mini map comes out of the box square, so make sure that's square. Make sure your rotation's on. You have a compass on. That also helps with callouts for your teammates. Crosshairs, I think this one is default on, so I wouldn't touch this. Hit markers, I have these on. Damage-based hit markers on. Player names, full name. I think this might mainly be for multiplayer. Text chat, completely preference. Telemetry, this is how you can show your FPS. Server latencies, this would be like your ping, any sort of packet loss that you may have. I would make sure to have this on. I also have my clock on. This one's just kind of for funsies. And everything else here is on. Parallax I have off. Center dot, this one's huge. I have center dot turned on. This really helps me with hip fire. It just gives you a nice little dot to center on. And that's just going to make your gameplay a lot easier, especially if you're in CQB situations. Center dot scale, I have mine set to default. You can have it larger if you like. That's what I have here in the interface tab. Now let's go into graphics settings, display tab, display mode. I used to have this on full screen exclusive. I changed it back to borderless because I keep alt tabbing to go into Discord or change some setting or pull up something in Chrome or whatever, just kind of show people stuff on stream. If you guys really need the most FPS though, make sure that's set to full screen exclusive. That's going to be the best setting. Display monitor, you can see here, this is just the monitor that I'm using. Exclamation point monitor in the chat for everyone asking. I'm playing on a 3080 Ti. That's my PC right there, obviously. I don't have dynamic resolution on. This is auto, off, custom frame rate limit. I have mine set to 165. That's my monitor max. I could have this up even higher and potentially get more, but I'm happy with 165. Menu, I have it set to 60, and out of focus, I have set to 30. The reason being is if I leave my game on, I don't want my GPU to be working overtime, because that's just not what you really want to have happen. If you need to restart your shaders, of course, just click that button. Display gamma, it's set to default. Brightness, you set this up at the very beginning. Just set that to what you think is best and follow their guidelines. I don't have that on. HDR is set to auto, so yeah, all good. Now, before we get into the rest of the quality settings, which give me maximum FPS, I'd love to give a massive shout out to Private Internet Access, the largest sponsor of this channel. If you didn't know, custom lobbies have just arrived in Warzone, and we used to play those all the time on the weekends with you, as long as you had a PIA subscription. So if you would like to game with me on the weekends, make sure that you have an active PIA subscription using my discount code over at piavpn.com/thinned. And if you're like, man, I don't know what PIA or a VPN does, I thought they were for bot lobbies. Guess what? PIA is not for bot lobbies. That's actually location spoofing and SBMM requests, and it doesn't do anything like that. And Warzone 2 actually doesn't even allow any type of VPNs. Instead, PIA solves two very large problems that we have on the internet today. When you buy things on the internet, you're usually paying an inflated price, especially for digital items and travel. I use PIA to book all of my flights and have saved a bunch of money. And two, most of us like watching TV shows and movies, but those are geo-restricted. For example, if I wanted to watch The Big Bang Theory here on Netflix in USA, I can't. What if I change my location to the UK or EU with PIA? Then I can. And yes, PIA was ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine, and it gives you all these benefits with just one click. And you get all of this for just $2 a month using my discount code over at piavpn.com/thin. And you get a game with me on the weekend. So when you do game with me, make sure to have all these quality settings so that you can have the highest FPS. Quality presets I have set to custom, render resolution set to 100. This one is going to be personal preference. I like Fidelity FX CAS, and I want to have this one set to 50. This makes the game look kind of like HDR-ish, super sharp, very, very nice. This is a personal favorite setting of mine. Some people like changing these around to a different one. I've had the best luck with Fidelity FX CAS set to 50. Anti-aliasing, I don't really like the way that Call of Duty does their anti-aliasing, so I have mine set to SMAAT2X. The quality, I have it set to low. Video memory scale, I have this maxed out to 90 because I want this to use as much of my GPU as possible. Texture resolution, very low, and filter anisotropic, low. Level of detail, low. Short. Particle quality, low. Particle quality level, very low. Bullet impacts, I like to have this one turned on. Persistent damage layers, this is like if somebody throws a nade and it makes a boom and it has kind of like that little crater. I think that's kind of cool, so I have that one turned on. Shader quality, I have it low. Tessellation off. Terrain memory max. Now this one used to be an issue for Warzone 2 big map. If you had this one set to any lower setting, your game would crash too often. I think they fixed that now, so this one, it's really up to you. On-demand texture streaming, make sure this one's off. You do not want this one on. Streaming quality, low. Volumetric quality, low. Deferred physics quality, off. Water caustics, this is basically what makes the water look kind of clear when you're looking at it from on top. I don't really shoot people in the water too often. I just kind of have this one turned off. Shadow map resolution, very low. These shadows off. Spot shadows, low. Spot cache, high. This one, again, this one was one of those settings where back in Warzone 2, when it first came out, this one, if you had this one turned high, it would help a little bit with making sure that your game wouldn't crash as much. I don't know if they fixed that yet. I just left this one on high. Particle lighting, low. Ambient occlusion, off. SSR is off. Static reflections, low. Weather grid, low. Nvidia reflex, low latency, I have this one turned on. This one's supposed to use AI to help with your FPS. Make sure to turn this one on. If you have like a super budget PC, then you can have this one on plus boost. If you're on console, obviously this doesn't matter, and the rest of these are off. And then film grain is 0. I hate film grain, it's disgusting. FOV, obviously max this one out if you like to have everything appear a little bit better around you. ADS field of view, make sure this is set to affected. Weapon field of view, I have this one set to wide. I like to see a little bit more around what I have in front of me. I don't really play third person, this one doesn't matter. Vehicle field of view, make sure this one's also set to wide. It can help you drive a little bit better, especially if you're like flying. Make sure these movements are set to least. This is going to help a lot with making sure you have a lot less visual recoil, so this is very, very key. And then default spectator camera, I don't like it on this helmet. I've tried it, but I think game perspective is much, much better. Now let's go into the Nvidia control panel settings that you guys all want to see. This one I played around with quite a bit on stream. This is going to be for Call of Duty, not for Tarkov, and this is going to be for Ashika Island only, although I'll probably also just play big map with these same settings. Brightness 57, contrast 80, gamma 1.25, digital vibrance 100. This is what makes that huge difference in making the game look so much better on Ashika Island. Thank you so much for watching. I got another cool video for you where I give away that $3,000 gaming PC to my good friend Godku, so make sure to go watch that. It's going to be one of these boxes. Just click on the box.